So today I'm going to show you guys how to clean a dirty carburetor. This zero turn is my neighbor's, and he reached out to me because he wanted to know what the heck was going on with his mower. When you start this thing up, the RPM on it is constantly surging, so it's constantly hunting for RPM. And this is a textbook example of an engine that is running lean due to a dirty carburetor. If you pull the choke lever slightly on this thing, the RPM levels out and it runs how it's supposed to. That is the easiest indicator that you guys have that you have some sort of carburetor problem, is if you pull the choke or apply the choke and the engine runs much better, chances are the carburetor is clogged in some way, shape, or form. So what we're going to go over in this video is, first of all, I'm going to show you how this thing is actually running to give you like a textbook example of a dirty carburetor. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go over the basics of how a carburetor works, because if you guys have a basic understanding of how a carburetor works, it's going to make it much, much easier for you to take apart a carburetor and have a basic understanding of how to clean it. I will then show you how to do the cleaning process, how I do it, and then after that, we'll put this thing all back together and I will show you guys how it runs after I get the carburetor cleaned. So there's quite a lot we're going to go over in this video, guys, so we're going to dive right into this. Let me fire this thing up for you and show you exactly how it's running right now with a dirty carburetor. A little bit of throttle. I'm not sure how much choke I'm going to need. All right, so before we dive in and I show you guys how to clean the carburetor, I thought it would just be beneficial for some of you guys. If you don't understand how a carburetor works, it's going to make it much, much easier for you to know how to clean it if you understand how it actually works. So, in its most basic form, the way a carburetor works is the air that's flowing through this hole, as you can see, my hand there on the back side, the air that flows through here actually pulls a slight vacuum on that little brass nipple that you see sticking up in the middle of that bore. That little brass nipple goes down into the bowl of the carburetor, and this is where the fuel sits in the carburetor. So the airflow going through the carburetor creates suction on that tube, and it pulls fuel from the bowl and into the stream of air going into the engine. That is what atomizes the air and the fuel going into the engine. So most of the cleaning you're going to need to do is going to be on this bowl specifically. If you pull the bowl off the bottom of one of these carburetors, you'll find a few things inside. So inside, you have a float, and this is what regulates the amount of fuel sitting in the bowl. If you did not have a float in here, this bowl would overflow and the engine would flood. So what happens is this float rises, comes up to the top, and shuts off the fuel flow so this bowl does not overfill. If you look directly in the bottom here, you can see there's a little brass insert in there. That little brass insert is what's called a jet. The jet regulates the amount of fuel going through the tube and into the engine. So when you hear somebody talking about a jet kit, they're changing out that little brass orifice. If you look, there's a couple slots in that brass orifice, and you can get in there with a screwdriver and those things just unscrew, and you can screw in a different one with a different size. That is essentially what is a jet kit. So when you're cleaning a carburetor, you obviously need to clean out the bowl, you need to clean out the jet, and you also need to clean out the needle and seat. So if I pull this pin and lift the bowl out, you'll see that there is a needle there. So the end of this needle right here, that is what stops the fuel flow into the carburetor once that float rises. On the other end, you can see there's a brass seat that it seats against. You have to clean this part, the needle, and the jet. Most of the time, when you have a small engine that has a dirty carburetor, you're going to find all sorts of gunk and grime inside this bowl assembly. I have pulled these bowls off, guys, and the inside of this bowl looks like it's filled with snot from broken down ethanol fuel. So this is really what you're concentrating on, is the jet and the needle and seat. If you guys are still a little confused about what's actually going on inside, I'm going to break it down even more simply than what I just showed you. So let me do that for you now real quick. This right here is as simple as I can make it. So this is a glass of water with a straw in it, and I have a toilet paper roll in the end of the straw. If I take compressed air and I put compressed air through the toilet paper roll, you'll see the water come up the straw and go out the end of the toilet paper roll. That is literally what goes on inside a carburetor. So the glass in this scenario would be the bowl of the carburetor. The straw would be the jet, and this would be the throat of the carburetor, would be the toilet paper roll. So let me show you guys how this works real quick. So I'll try and keep my hand out of the way as best as I can. There you go. If I hold that air nozzle in there just right, you can see the water coming out of the end of the toilet paper roll. That is a carburetor. The only difference is, depending on obviously the size of the vehicle you're dealing with, they all fundamentally work off of this principle. It's just the scale of them are bigger than others. Fundamentally, that's it. So to actually clean this carburetor out, there's a few different things you can use. The cheapest option for you guys is going to be brake cleaner or carburetor cleaner. You can use either one of those things. Those work pretty much the same. And again, that's going to be your kind of your cheapest option. If you're going to use the carburetor cleaner or the brake cleaner, I would try to get like a small piece of wire and run it down through the jets just to make sure the jets are completely cleaned out, because there's not much agitation. You really need some sort of agitation with a brake cleaner or a carburetor cleaner to get all this gunk and grime out of there. Your other option is going to be some sort of dedicated carburetor soak. There are like gallon containers out on the market that have a little basket in them. Berryman's makes one, Gunk makes one, and what you do is you pull the basket out of the gallon container, put the carburetor in the basket, drop it down in the solution, and you let it sit in there overnight and pull it out, you know, probably the next morning, depending on how dirty your carburetor is, and that cleans the carburetor. What I'm going to be using is a little bit different. So I'm going to be using an ultrasonic cleaner. You can buy these on Amazon for, I saw them as cheap as about 45 bucks. What these things do is you fill the container with a water-based degreaser of your choosing. Some guys will use Simple Green, Purple Power. I've used Dawn dish soap in the past mixed with water, works fantastic. Really comes down to whatever sort of degreaser you have around. And what these things do is when you turn them on, they first of all heat up the water, and that helps break down the dirt and the grime. And the other thing that they do is they shoot actual sound waves through the water-based degreaser that you're using, and that agitates the grease and basically breaks down all the grime on the part. So like I said, these things run about 45 bucks, and in about 20 to 30 minutes you can pretty much get these things spotless with an ultrasonic cleaner. One quick note for you guys that are going to use an ultrasonic. If you turn this thing on, you cannot put your fingers into the fluid or into the ultrasonic cleaner with it turned on. Potentially what could happen is you could have an air pocket form in your bloodstream, whatever you submerge in here, and if that air pocket makes it to your brain, it's going to kill you. So when this thing's running, don't put your finger in it. End of story. So with all that in mind, let me start pulling apart this carburetor from this lawnmower, and we're going to go through the cleaning process with the ultrasonic cleaner. All right, now based on what we just went over, what I have here should look fairly familiar. So this is the bowl, there's the choke plate, here's the throttle plate in the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the two Phillips head screws holding on the bowl on the bottom of this thing, pull the bowl off. I'm probably gonna pull this top plate off, see what that looks like underneath there, and then we're gonna put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. It's not that bad, actually. I've seen a heck of a lot worse. I've seen some of these where you'll get like cottonwood down in the bowl. Like cottonwood will make its way through the fuel tank, through the fuel system, and it'll get clogged in the jet. That's the float that we were talking about earlier. Inside of the bowl, this is usually where you're gonna find most of the contamination. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna then pull this top plate off the top of this thing, pull this off, and then I'm gonna set this whole thing in the ultrasonic cleaner as it is. I'll probably run a few cycles just to try and get this thing as clean as I can get it. So before I put the carburetor in the ultrasonic cleaner, I spent a couple minutes just spraying the outside off with some brake cleaner. And the reason for that is I didn't want any of this dirt and grass and all this residue that you see on the carburetor. I didn't want that stuff make its way into the carburetor. So I cleaned it off for a couple minutes before I actually put it in the ultrasonic cleaner just with some brake clean. As far as what I'm using in my ultrasonic cleaner, guys, I'm just using some Dawn dish soap and some water. I've seen guys use Simple Green, guys use Purple Power. You can use pretty much anything you want. They even make dedicated ultrasonic cleaning solutions. If you guys want to look into any of that stuff, you're more than welcome to. I'm sure in a pinch you could even use the soak from Berryman or Gunk in the ultrasonic cleaner. If you wanted sort of the quote-unquote ultimate solution, that would probably be the most aggressive thing that you could use, would be that cleaning solution in the gallon container dumped into the ultrasonic. At any rate, guys, as you guys saw when I pulled the bowl off of this thing, there wasn't a ton of dirt inside this thing, and the Dawn dish soap and water did perfectly fine. I ran probably 3 or 4 cycles at 5 minutes a piece with this. And what I did before my final cycle is I changed out the water to fresh water and fresh Dawn cleaning soap. And I just wanted to ensure that I had as little contamination in the solution as possible. So when I did my final cleaning, I knew that the carburetor was going to be as clean as I could get it, because the color of the water in the ultrasonic never changed. So I ran a few cycles in the ultrasonic, and this is kind of what we're left with here. As you can see, the outside of it obviously is super, super clean, but if you look down in the jets are pretty much spotless, and then all the passages up here in the top are spotless as well. So before I go ahead and, put the bowl back on the bottom of it and that whole thing, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some compressed air and I'm gonna blow everything off with compressed air to make sure everything's nice, clean, and dry. So from this point forward, ideally this thing should have ethanol-free fuel, and you should really never have to do this ever again, provided you're using good fuel. So with all that in mind, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing blown off and reinstalled, and we'll see how it runs. All right, so I have it mostly back together with the exception of the bumper. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and fire this thing up, see what we get here. It's probably gonna take a minute for the fuel to prime. So as you guys just heard, after soaking that carburetor in this ultrasonic cleaner for about 20 to 30 minutes, the thing runs fantastic again. So this is a super common issue related to ethanol fuel. The ethanol fuel breaks down, clogs up the jets in the carburetor, makes the engine run slightly lean, and when the engine runs slightly lean, you get that surging effect. When you apply the choke, that richens up the mixture, and when you get the choke pulled just correctly, it'll level back out, and that's pretty much how you know that you have a carburetor issue. Now, one other thing to note here, guys, is replacement carburetors for these small engines are dirt cheap. This one that I have here ran me about $12. So let's say, for example, you go to pull the bowl off the bottom of this and you strip out the bolt holding in the bowl. It's not the end of the world, because you could go buy another carburetor for, let's say, less than $30. I actually saw clones of 2-barrel Holley carburetors on Amazon for $80. What the quality is on some of this stuff, I couldn't tell you. One thing I will tell you guys is, if you have the option to clean it, I highly recommend cleaning it versus replacing the carburetor. Typically, the OEM carburetors are a little bit more durable than, you know, obviously the Chinese knockoffs that you can buy for about $12. So I highly recommend, you know, cleaning your factory carburetor versus buying a cheap Chinese clone. In the long run, you're probably going to come out ahead. So guys, I will have links in the description to the ultrasonic cleaner, to some of the different cleaning solutions you can use with the ultrasonic cleaner, and obviously to a carburetor cleaner, and as well as those soaks that I was talking about from Berryman and Gunk. So as always, guys, if you guys liked the video, hit like. If you want to see more content, go down and hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.